A lot of our story is about youth and community standing up and being willing to step out of their comfort zone and to stand up and speak for something they believed in, and then some changes being made. Our elected officials feeling moved to make those changes that they were asking for, be it tobacco-free parks, be it a fairgrounds policy, or at the hospital, them deciding to adopt these policies to have their nurses and doctors speak with each of their patients that was a tobacco user about how they can go about quitting, what resources they have. It's not a success story of Ringgold County Public Health, it's a success story of Ringgold County.
I guess my story is about my dad. He's a smoker, but he's just a character, he's always a family man. He always puts us first. He knows smoking's bad for him. In fact, as a city councilman, he was the one to make the motion to make all the parks in Mount Air go smoke-free and tobacco-free. And so even though he smokes, he knows that it's bad for him and that he knows that it hurts other people.
When we go to baseball games and softball games during the summertime, I don't want them seeing people smoking and chewing and thinking that it's okay. And the more that, again, like I said, the more that kids see that, the more they think that it's okay.
It's just a healthier environment. You see people walking on the walking trail, you see people swimming in the swimming pool, you see people playing on the equipment. Smoking, to me, doesn't fit in with the healthiness of the activities that are going on in the park.
I was born and raised in Ringgold County. My family is from Ringgold County. I live in a little town by the name of Kellerton. You will notice it by the big blue water tower with the big horseshoe. We have a really nice horseshoe pitching court in our park in Kellerton. I'll be outside with the girls playing and I'll hear clinking coming from the park. There'll be people pitching horseshoes. Community and family are really important to us, and that is why we've decided to stay in the little town and raise our family there. Olivia, who is 8, she talks about the park when we like to go to the park. She likes to play on all the equipment, but the most fun part for her is rock collecting.
I like to collect rocks, and they're evidently all over our house. My mom says some of them are not very cool, but I like them anyway.
My girls and I are a part of the local planning committee that puts on our 4th of July. It's a lot of work.
Getting the slushy machine ready, making popcorn, getting the bingo table set up.
You have to go and make sure your park is clean and ready to go.
And make sure all the trash is picked up. And usually Sophia and I go play, and now I have to watch her.
I looked over at her and she was looking at something, like toddlers do. And of course, what do? The first time that they see something, it goes right into her mouth. And of course, then I kind of freak out and yell at her, Sophia, don't do that.
We run over there as fast as we can and get it away from her, but it frightens her a little bit and she starts to cry.
And it is a cigarette butt. And we're in a park where she's supposed to be able to play and not have to worry about those things. And I got to looking around where she was sitting, and there were several cigarette butts.
Cigarette butts all over.
It was kind of upsetting to me that that was in our park. And it's one of the big reasons that I think it's important to have tobacco-free parks. I think the challenge is around education. What an amazing opportunity that tobacco prevention grant is for our county, and that's a really good selling point. It's that we have tobacco-free parks, and that improves what we have here and makes me want to raise my children here, and hopefully my children will want to stay here too.
I can't make somebody quit smoking. I don't think anybody can. It's a personal decision that somebody makes, that they decide to quit. And they have to have the right reasons to want to do that. And I think their kids are the right reasons to have them want to make that decision, and then we can help them with that whole decision with their counseling, and hopefully they can be successful. And they will be more successful if they have that counseling.
I'm just scared for my dad for the health risks, because I mean, he's been smoking for that long and now he's like 53, I think, so it's getting up there. And I don't know, I want him to see me get old and have kids and, you know, be a good grandpa.
And I just think that everyone that has a loved one that does use tobacco, maybe they need to step back and realize that, yeah, they don't think it's going to happen to you, but it's going to happen sometime, because it's so bad for your body. There's no way that if you use it, it's going to be good for you or it's going to help you. It's just going to hurt you.
I ride my bike down to my house, and she's like, your grandma passed away. I was just in shock. I was at 5th grade in the time. November 5th, that was my birthday. I sat in my room the whole day crying, thinking about all the good memories me and my grandma had. My mom smoked, my grandma, my dad, my brothers smoke, Cody and Brandon, and I tell them to quit every single day, but they don't listen to me. Because I tell them, look what happened to Grandma. I don't want that ending up happening to you, but I know tobacco is holding them in, and it's taking over their body where they can't quit and not listen to me. They listen to the nicotine and crave it every single day.
Ringgold County is one of the smallest counties in Iowa. We have just over 5,000 residents.
One of the major problems that we have in Ringgold County is the high number of smokers.
I started smoking when I was 14 or 15 years old.
Used to keep them in my locker at school.
I was a little kid, very young, 9 years old when I started smoking.
I'm just scared for my dad for the health risks.
Mother passed away from lung cancer. We lost the best friend we had.
I miss her and love her still so much.
Someday it's going to get someone that you love too.
There's not a smoker out there that would wish for his child to start smoking cigarettes. Not one.
I quit smoking every day for 20 years. But the next day, I'd light up again.
Most of the people I see that smoke want to stop smoking. They just need help, and they need the incentives to help them stop smoking.
The doctor that I had gone to, he said, you're going to quit smoking. And I thought, buddy, I'm not going to quit smoking.
If somebody was going to tell me I was going to quit, then I would fight harder to continue to smoke.
I don't want them to feel that we're judging them or feeling judgmental, but we do care about their health. We do care that they quit smoking, and I have the tools to help me help them.
It's just amazing to me that if we offer them these services such as patches and gum for smoking cessation, of the number of people that are now willing to attempt to quit that previously would not.
Ringgold County has a grant, and they have mints and gum and a magnet. They'll help provide you with the quit therapy that you choose for 8 weeks. I finally decided that I would use the patches and did really well with them.
Okay, you're a smoker. What can I help you to make you a non-smoker?
I guess you can gather more flies with honey than you can with vinegar, so that's a good old story too.
Everybody always said that Marcia would never quit. Oh, she'll never quit. She won't quit because she smoked all of her life and she'll never quit. I'll show every one of you I will quit because I'm just bullheaded enough to do it. And so I did.
Now, we go out and pick up so many patients that are on oxygen, have to take breathing treatments, get put in the hospital, but they can't put that cigarette down. They still hooked on that cigarette. You get stained fingers from cigarette smoke, burns when they fall asleep with it in their hands, catch their clothing on fire and burn other parts. It's a terrible habit. And hopefully, especially young kids can get stopped sooner and not get hooked on it. Because it's tough. I smoked for 10 to 12 years before I quit. I know it's tough to quit, but it's just you've got to get things straight in your head first, and it's not going to be a spur of the moment decision. You've got to really want to do it.
My grandma Verna is my mom's mom and had 2 heart attacks. The first one she had, after she had it, the doctors told her to quit smoking. She had to, otherwise it could have been the end for her. Then she still smoked, so then she had her second heart attack. And that is when they told her she had to quit. And when she was out, she finally tried to pick up a cigarette and could not stand the smell, could not stand the taste, nothing. So she put the cigarette down and quit smoking. There have been so many good times with my grandma, and these good times would not have happened if she still smoked and died from her heart attacks. So we're very thankful to have her here with us today.
I was impressed that a lot of the young people, they opened up and they told personal stories and how, you know, tobacco had impacted parts of their life and their families and stuff, and I could see that made an impression on the council members and stuff, and so they, you know, made the decision to make it tobacco-free park, and I was really, you know, proud that they listened to the community, and I was proud of the community for coming and making the effort to, you know, to talk about it and say how important it was.
I think the high school kids were the leaders that allowed us to get tobacco-free parks.
Ringgold County is a small county in southern Iowa, very close-knit county. It's a community that really does focus on families.
We embrace our families and we pride ourselves on our children and their accomplishments, and we raise them up on every level that we possibly can.
Ringgold County is about family, and it is about love.
Most people are either involved in raising cattle, growing corn, or raising pigs. So farming is definitely part of everyday life here for Ringgold County. So once a year they get together at the Ringgold County Fair.
We're like Hicks, you know, and most kids come to the fair.
It's a big deal. People bring their campers, they bring their tents, and they camp out for an entire week, and they live and breathe the fair.
We don't want kids being there and having to deal with smoke in the air and, you know, dealing with all that baggage that smoking and tobacco can lead to.
The more kids see it and the more kids see people smoking, the more they're going to think that it's normal. Smoking's not normal, and it shouldn't be allowed around our youth.
We went to the fair board meeting and we spoke our piece, and at first they weren't very convinced.
And the kids came to us at a board meeting and asked us to adopt these policies that they had written for us to be tobacco-free, smoke-free, and to not take advertisement money.
Tobacco companies can advertise their product at like rodeos, and we get a lot of money for that.
We're very much struggling to keep our fair going, and for a company to come to us and say, hey, can we advertise here? It would be super hard for us to say no, but we had to put this first.
Tobacco companies go to great lengths to make sure that their products are a part of our everyday lives. And what our project set out to do is basically reverse that change and say, no, we really don't need it to be a part of our everyday lives.
To bring the kids in, who that's what the fair's for, is the kids. And for them to come in and say, please adopt this. You know, that was very compelling. The idea to change this is hard. It's not so much the actual act of doing it, because it's very easy to do. Once it's done, you're just like, whew, all right, we should have done that years ago.
We did it. And it just goes to show that no matter who you are and no matter what your community's like, you can change anything.
Us kids did that. We convinced the adults. We made a change for once. We can make a lot more places tobacco-free, but it's just really special to me being a part of that.
My daughter Sadie is 13 years old. When she was 18 months old, we had an encounter with asthma, our first encounter with asthma, that was terrifying. And I remember specifically the doctor saying to me, you know, that you have to understand how serious this is. She could die from this. And that was kind of my moment where I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. But when you hear death and your child, you know, in the same sentence, I realized that I had to do something to help her outside of the hospital to make sure this didn't happen again. And they did say that smoke was one of the triggers that caused asthma and caused an asthma attack. And even though we were not smokers in our home, I had to think of that every time we left our home. And, you know, I had to think of, you know, the daycare that she was staying in, the restaurants we would go in, the parks, you know, all the things that we did for fun outside of her home. Being in Mount Air now, as she's gotten older, we don't have to worry about anywhere we go to eat. We don't have to worry about going to the park to play, to enjoy our family time. I can walk the trail when my kids are playing. I don't have to worry about any triggers for her that would cause her to be in pain.
My kids are blessed that in Ringgold County they can go to parks, they can go to school events, and that they're not always exposed to smoking everywhere they go. That they can go through the vast majority of their lives, go into restaurants, go into other places of business and not have smoking all around them. And so we are lucky to live here and to have really a new time for our kids to be growing up with a new environment, a healthy environment.
And I think in our rural area, we do have so much that's so good. And being tobacco-free is just another added blessing.
So today we are working with our community residents, trying to prep them to get ready for capturing their story on video.
It was kind of powerful seeing, just the process.
There was a real fear at first of talking and telling their story. It was like they were afraid that nobody else would feel like them or have a story like them, and then once they all told a story, you could kind of get the sense of relief among the group that, boy, we all have experienced really similar things.
You never know what's going to happen.
I'm not like a talk show host that's got a script to go by. You're hearing me and the way I actually feel.
They kind of use my name as an adjective, you know? You're being like Dom, or you are Dom right now, you know? Stuff like that. And it's like, I'm my own being, I'm my own word.
And take one.
Taylor here with the live report for Fashion in the Air. I'm here with the lovely Jennifer Hawbaker, and the newest fashion, it seems like, is the sweater dress. As you can tell, sweater dress and leggings are very in. Jennifer, can you tell me a little bit about your look?
Oh, yeah, sure. I remember this look from when I was in high school.
So we're bringing it back.
Just got done story coaching Jody Rushing, and I thought it went really awesome. By the time you go down there, everything's gonna come out just the way it's supposed to come out. I wish I could just end it on that one. Because that might be the best job I ever do. And it's good to go out on a good note, I hear. It's been a journey. It's been a learning process.
It was interesting getting to tell our own stories and be on camera and experience the same thing that our community members were going through. It's been fun to watch the process from start to finish and put it all together. You can really see how lives are changing because of this project.